last time on the Adventures of Dark+Sun?
Not it, because I did it the first time.
I did it the second time, so I can't go. You already I mean, I'll do it. I just won't get inspiration for it.
That's right. Inspiration will be wasted. It'll go away forever.
Wasted.
Wasted.
Yes.
Like most of you last session.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I can read my terribly abbreviated notes. That's what we want.
I would like a summary that is somewhat cogent.
More than Story of Gup, Stone is Monk.
It's more than that.
Right. Dan, I did appreciate your nose maneuver, by the way. I know no one got it except for Joe, but I was on board with it. Go ahead.
So we finally got to the berries, and we tried to start ripping them out of the ground, and some viney peeps.
I like how you put that in quotes, like somebody said that.
Well, it's in quotes because that's what's written in her notes.
No, I know that that's what's written in her notes, but I feel like it's weird to quote yourself.
Well, we haven't heard the quote before, so
it's fine.
I guess that's fair. I
stand by it.
I think Abraham Lincoln said it, so it's no big deal.
So yeah, scary viney peep sprang out of the ground and tried to hit us real hard. And we thought it was fine. We won. They died. Then Milo carried on at like 1 hit point, trying to rip all the bushes out of the ground by himself.
After, let's backtrack a little bit. He was unconscious for 4 hours.
Yeah,
you guys did nothing.
Guy.
That didn't make it into the notes.
It
made it into my notes.
It's just in the notes. It's just sometime later. ...
Yeah, exactly. It's just time card, and it's just all right.
So then, the giant burb we had been watching circle decided that we looked like dinner, and tried to do a real big attack in. And we tried briefly to fight it, and that was a mistake. So then we started to run away. And Quixote did an A+ blinding thing on it, which let us do a real big escape in.
It's actually not quite a blind. It's sort of a blind, but it's, you know.
Yeah, it like gave it like this much vision.
Yes.
And it was very upset about its life.
Correct.
And then let's see, I carried the halfling out, and Milo, you carried someone out. I don't remember
unimportant.
Yeah, some nameless guy.
I was carrying someone else, but I was focusing on running and not dying.
I carried out the hero who dove.
Yes.
Yeah, dived. Dove.
Dove in front of the first time.
Dove-in.
You doubted yourself.
Dived it.
Right.
He dived it in front of the attack, aimed at poor Milo, and then carried him to safety.
That's correct.
We bonded over that.
It did. It was beautiful.
So yeah, then we made it back to town on the 21st day of rest. I don't know what day of the week that was. I just wrote down arrived back to town on the 21st.
Okay.
And we took the berries. We took the bushes of berries back to Thanik because, heaven forbid, we just take the berries.
Specifically 2 of them.
Yes, specifically 2 of the bushes.
Y'all dug up like 4, but
we only took 2
in the bird panic.
We had to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of us was unconscious.
Some of you had your hands full. I understand.
It's fine. So we took those.
Everyone, go ahead and roll me perception, by the way. You can continue.
Oh my god.
I was.
You're all
It begins. Yeah.
You're
all attacked.
I forgot to mention this. You all actually were devoured.
Yes, sorry. Aaron, you forgot in your recap.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Anyway.
Shit. I'm just gonna keep going and then I'll do that.
No, you're good. Listen, you didn't say anything. You're fine.
And then Thanik paid us, and that was glorious. And then he stood up on a table and announced things about like how we were saving people and it was us, not the government, and we were all like,
God, you guys don't know this shit. All right.
What? And then I insisted that Faldir tell us a story, and he told the story of Pillow/Cup/Nameless. And as a result, somehow, sometime later, we ended up with drugs that we got super duper stoned on.
Random drugs you don't remember how you got are the best.
Those are the best.
So that was pretty great. And
I like the fact that you took them with no question.
Yeah,
I
know how to doom your party.
Well, a dude just comes up and gives you a pipe and says, "Hey, here you go. It's a good story."
Have you guys? All right. Do you guys mind if you haven't seen it, or if you do, then we can reminisce about how you remember this? You guys ever watched the show Vikings?
Yes.
All right. Do you mind if I spoil it? Great. I'm
No.
going to. Okay. So anyway, so there's this one scene where like they were like conspiring to like assassinate this guy, and they were like, all right, and they got this guy named Loki who's crazy, obviously, to assassinate this guy, and he's like, great. And literally what happens is they have a party, and Loki pulls over a little boy and gives him a handful of mushrooms and says, see that guy over there? Give him the mushrooms. And he's like, okay. And then he walks over to the guy and hands him the mushrooms. The guy takes the mushrooms, look at Loki, gives him like a nod, and then just eats all of them.
Promptly dies, I assume.
And I was like, you guys are a lot easier to take out than I thought.
Floki is a high-level Dark+Sun bar.
I thought it was gonna be like this complicated thing, and he was just like, and the guy was just like, he just takes his like stein and is like, and then Loki's like, and he just goes, and then it's like scene transition, and he's like lying unconscious, like with vomit around him. It's like, okay, well, that'll get you every time.
Fried mushrooms are the worst.
If I had a nickel.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, Shrasa.
No, you're fine. So then we were stoned as fuck for a little bit, and then we were super duper hungover.
Yep.
And then everybody started doing their training, and I really only took notes on mine, except that I remember Quixote stared at a cactus for a while.
That's right.
I did.
Hard to forget that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if you want me to tell about my training, or if we could just.
I feel like that's okay. I feel like you don't have to.
Okay.
But go ahead and give yourself 1 point of inspiration.
Hooray!
And those of you that of which had inspiration from bonding and stuff, that goes away at the end of the session, remember. So you have 0 now. You've never bonded. You only have bonding points. So one day you might level up your bond with your friends.
One day.
Wait,
It takes 10,000 bonding points to level.
GM, can an inspiration be given without the inspirational music?
I'm sorry, what?
Can inspiration be given without the inspirational music being played?
No, it cannot.
I seem to remember.
Do we want me to roll perception, or do I need to roll perception?
Well, no, that's the inspirational music is only played in various capacities. So I forget. I've used a lot of music as jokes. Is this the Karate Kid that we go with?
Yes.
Okay.
I need it.
Okay. It's coming. It didn't.
I'm waiting.
I just tried to play it and it didn't. Let's see.
Do I need to roll roll perception?
Yes, you do. But no.
Okay.
That's not it at all. No, I don't need the whole scene. Thank you.
I also noticed nothing.
I had another one. God, yeah, okay, you guys don't notice fuck all. Way to go. I was sure one of you would.
I tried real hard.
You know what? And I respect that.
A for effort.
Oh, I know. No, this was before Roll20 sucked, and it moved away, and it got on
shit.
SoundCloud.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
Alright.
it anymore.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Stupid Roll20.
I'll dig it up. I'll try to find something similar, but it doesn't have it right
Okay.
now.
Nope. Fair enough. That's cool.
But anyway, that does break my heart. I am also saddened by this. Now, so you guys are enjoying yourselves. You're resting, probably blowing your money on drugs and rock and roll, and wasteland mutants. You know, it's basically Total Recall. There's at least 12 hookers who have 3 breasts.
Nice.
And
A total of 36.
the men are similarly additive in their in their qualities. How I'll let you guys imagine that
6 nipples.
Exactly. One of them's on the neck. That's how you know.
Yep. The whole neck areola.
That's right. It's the best. All right. So you guys are hanging out, getting some training done. So I will say we'll start with we can start with the training session, or if you guys wanted to get up to something while you were in town, we can go into that first. Whatever you guys would like to address here during y'all's beautiful downtime. Sleeping on horrible, flattened mattresses that are stuffed with the empty carapaces of bugs.
Hey, now some of us are sleeping on just stained floor
Right.
because we're sharing a room.
Yeah. Well, I assume
So-
you guys go back and forth a little bit. I assume that occasionally you get a mattress, or have you just accepted your place in the group?
We flip for it,
Yeah.
but it's just like it's not a coin though. It's just like it's just like a stick.
It's a ball. It's,
Yeah. It's just,
Ah!
oh. Yeah, you're good at this.
right. So so what would you guys like to get up to? We can train. We can do whatever you want. The world is your oyster, which is to say, it's salty and a little snotty and may
And an
gotta say-
aphrodisiac?
and may or
It's got to say
it's an aphrodisiac. Yes, I described the prostitutes earlier. And it is likely to give, if you take it in raw, it's likely to get you sick. So
sometimes you just got to say shuck it.
exactly.
What the shell?
It's like Dan did a nice one and then you did that, and it just
I have to be consistent.
you know what? And I respect it.
There it
Just
is.
heavily disagree with it.
All right.
I'm gonna focus on my training. I don't really have anything else I was planning on doing.
Okay. We can go in to do that then if you like. So, as previously established, with your friendly meeting with y'all's favorite employer, who y'all did not do a job for.
Yep.
Lady Nika has sent you saying that, you know, on one fine evening, on a hot summer night, which is to say not hot at all, it's actually quite cold, you can find a gentleman, that of which you are to pay for training. So we'll go ahead and we'll make our way over into that scene. So, how do you get ready during the day before this meeting?
I mean, I don't wear armor, so I just kind of, my fine clothes already. And
I mean, like, mentally prepare. Like, do you do anything?
mentally prepare?
Yeah. I mean, you just check your,
I mean, I don't-
your metaphorical watch and go, all right, I guess it's time.
It's drawn on, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know exactly who I'm looking for or what to expect, so I don't really have a mental preparation for what I'm going into.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, we'll say you're probably hanging out at, like, the Porter's Reason or something as you wait for the sun to set.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so as established, right, the sun does eventually set into the sky. There's sort of a red hue that covers the sky every twilight as this happens. Slowly, the rays that of which are peeking over the high walls of Altaric begin to descend, and eventually darkness encompasses. There's occasionally a light here or there burning inside of a window or two where some wax might be burning. The only major lights that of which are persistent are those that of which you see in the around the Wavirian Palace. They have sort of torches that are often lit throughout the night in order to maintain a sort of security as guards patrol that area. There are other places the guards patrol, not where you guys are, in the Porter's Reason, but in areas like, the Arena Square and such. You can often find a well-armored man sort of pacing around to make sure that property is not defaced and things of this nature to any major degree. People in the Porter's Reason start to come in. Guards who are changing shifts, right? The night watch is beginning, so the day shift is ending, and those people are coming on in to sort of unwind and drink away the day for a while. So, what do you do as the sun is set and night begins to settle in?
There was a specific place I was supposed to go, wasn't there?
Yes, you were supposed to go over to the Emporium Square.
Okay. I'm going to head in that direction. I'm not going to go into the square yet. I'm going to kind of survey the area from a distance as best I can.
Sure, absolutely. So what effectively ends up happening is, as you start to kind of make your way around the Emporium Square, it's a fairly nice it's a fairly nice location, right? You can see that there's it's an area that of which sells fairly high-end stuff. There's some guards, in fact, that still sort of wander, but there's not as many as you would expect for a location such as this, as this is a sort of wealthier area. But it is a place that of which still is sort of, it's not dead, if you will, as night kind of reaches the area, and you can see that there are occasional little clusters of people here and there, having discussions about this or that, and whenever you kind of wander by, you're kind of given a dark look or something, and people shuffle off. People are often wearing cloaks and this sort of thing. And you get the feeling this is one of these places that is not a place you want to... It's not a place you want to show up regularly unless you know the people.
As the ominous music begins playing, yes.
Sure. So that's what you see whenever you try to stay on the outside.
Okay. I guess I'll just head in then. I'm going to kind of be actively looking around because I want to make myself... somebody's looking for me specifically, so I want to make myself somewhat more obvious as opposed to blending in.
As you do, somebody wearing sort of a dark cloak around their shoulders, and a hood pulled up, approaches you. You can see it's a woman who has sort of black hair kind of hanging down around her shoulders, two braids. And she approaches you and she says, "What brings you here, sir? It's awful dark and not very safe to be wandering the streets at this time of night."
I'm just waiting for a friend to meet me here.
There's a pause, and you can feel, even though you can't see her eyes, you can feel this woman's eyes look you up and down. And she whispers, "Ah, are you the one that had a date set up for this evening?"
I would assume so, yes. To our mutual benefactor.
She nods, and she says, "Enjoy your evening." She leaves. As she does, you notice she takes her hand away from her side. Sort of, you suspect some sort of weapon was previously readied, in case you answered poorly. And you see her walk by, and there's a guard that actually comes around a corner, and he sort of tips his helm towards her, and she nods politely back, which is something the guards don't do that to people during the day.
Yeah.
She turns down a corner. People kind of walk by, and they see you kind of whispering to each other something or another. And they seem to be avoiding you, right? Whenever you were circling before, you saw that there were people actually clustered where you are now. But now, these people kind of turn off down alleyways here and there, and they sort of group off into small little groups here and there to have a discussion before leaving in one capacity or another. And as you wait for a while, you hear a man whistling as he makes his way down an alleyway. You know, very jovial. You know. Good evening. How are you? Yeah. And you hear of a cane landing in the sand. Where the sort of, this is more of a cobblestone area. This is actually a nicer part of town. Sort of this. He turns the corner, and you can see him now. He's a hefty man, definitely not slim, wearing fine silks, a heavy necklace around him with these beads that of which are laced around it, and a actual sort of like something that must be like copper or bronze, something that must be very expensive, sort of medallion hanging from it. He has skin that of which is sort of copper colored with a black hair around his head that of which seems to have been brushed just so, while a small hat sits atop his head, and he's holding a large black cane. He turns and he sees you, and a smile rolls across his thin lips, and he says, "Good evening, sir." And he approaches.
Good evening to you, sir.
He says, "I've heard it rumored that you're looking and have made an effort to pay for some experiences this evening."
Yes, I have.
He nods. "Come this way, then." And he turns around and walks without looking at you. The cane clearly, no weight resting upon it, clearly for appearance's sake. And he says, "So tell me, how is it that you came in contact with Miss Adiyama?"
She was there's a group that I'm traveling with. She was our first visit in town when we were looking for work.
Ah. And another guard kind of comes around the corner, and he bumps into him. "Oh, excuse me. I'm so very sorry." And as you turn, you see the guard has some ceramics in his hand. And the guard sort of nods curtly, and you continue to walk down this alleyway. He says, "I see. And did you perform the task?"
We haven't yet. We didn't have the funds at the time to be able to travel as far as she needed us to.
Ah, of course. Well, it takes money to make it, I suppose.
Yes.
And finally, you come into a small sort of side shop. And he pauses for a moment and tilts his head, and he pulls out some keys, and he sticks one into the door and turns it. He kind of pauses, almost waiting for something, and there's a click, and he pushes the door open. "This way." You enter into the room, and it is completely dark.
I get mugged. Okay.
And then he murders you. That doesn't
Gotta get money to make money.
That's right. He takes all your shit. He goes, "Sucker!" and he leaves. And he goes, "Officer, this man was robbing the..." No. That doesn't happen. It's tempting, but it doesn't. That is your first lesson. Um, no, I thought about doing that actually, but I did not. And you walk in. Please close the door behind you.
I close the door.
And right as the door closes, you hear something of like flint striking. And there's a small lamp, very sort of Aladdin genie kind of deal, that of which has been lit. And the man holds it and he smiles. His jovial appearance, a little stranger in the dim light as shadows play across the walls. Come. And he turns down, and there's a sort of basement that leads down. As you do head your way down following, there's hard clay walls along the sides. And he sits down, and he sits the lamp down at a table that has these clay jars kind of placed around it. And he has a seat kind of on one side, and he gestures towards the other. Please, have a seat.
Sit down.
He smiles. And he says, my name is Linder.
Pleased to meet you. My name is Faldia.
Ah, is that your real name?
Maybe.
Next time, come up with a better lie. And he says, so tell me, Mr. Faldir, why are you here?
To get better at what I do.
He looks around and he says, Mr. Faldir, there is no one else here but the lender. Why are you here? He doesn't seem to push you. He just sits there waiting with a kind of sideways grin.
I'm seeking training. Bardic arts.
And why do you seek that?
Because you have to spend money to make money.
A mercenary? How charming. Are you sure there aren't better ways to make money, my friend? Perhaps trade or laying of bricks might be more to your suiting.
I do what I know.
A man with a past. He nods. That's good. At least you survived something. He then takes 3 jars, pushes them in front of him, and slowly takes off the lid of each one. And he says, you realize that the path you have chosen is less than safe.
Oh yes. There aren't many safe paths.
No. But this one you know is fraught with danger. You know that if you take this path, that either you will die, or you will leave a trail of bodies behind you. And he leans forward. Or both.
Yes.
And you still wish to walk it.
Yes.
Why?
people I'm traveling with.
I see. So you don't know.
More or less.
Well, then I'll have to make sure we learn. And he leans back and he says, now before you, 3 poisons. He says, each one more fatal than the last. Or maybe not. Either way, it would be wise not to test my word on this one. And he undoes the top of his cane and pulls out a slim blade, a dagger, about 6 inches long. And he says, if you're going to work with us in the ways that a bard must, you must become accustomed to handling such devices. And he takes the blade and dips it into one of the jars, and then whips it around, and then like sheathes it into the sheath once more, and then pulls it out and runs his hand along it, but is very careful. You notice that there's like a little smear of the poison on his palm, but his palm is not cut. And he goes, you must get comfortable with walking the path. Did you bring a blade with you?
Yes. I pull out my bard's friend.
The wisest thing you've said tonight. And he says, as he pushes one of the jars towards you, now, wet your whistle, as it were.
Okay. I pick the jar to the right.
Sure.
I dip my bard's friend into it.
Okay.
I prick my finger and die.
Yeah. Oh man, you would have been super OP if you'd have won though. If you'd have pulled this off. You dip your bard's friend into it. And he takes his blade. You see a little bit of the poison dripping down the tip, and he says, grab it. Like so.
I do. Tentatively.
He tilts his head looking at you. And he lunges forward, reaching over the table and grabs your hand that's on the blade. And you feel him pressing onto you. His eyes locked onto you, but this little smile still across his lips as he watches you. Make a strength check.
Not my strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
You feel it struggle and struggle as he's just smiling at you, pressing down on your hand. And you feel the blade slowly start to dig into your fingers. And you can sense almost the poison starting to seep into your bloodstream. And a small trickle of your blood starts to roll down between both your and his fingers. And he lets go and leans back and he says, well, it appears you do have much to learn. And then he dips his finger into the jar on the right. Wax. And we will end that little vignette. So that is the sort of first step of your training. As you continue to practice into the night, he teaches you how to handle a blade, how to move it in a capacity, how to keep it concealed with poison on it, and things of this nature. How, in a tense situation, to apply poison in a fashion that is safe for yourself. And things of this nature in order to he basically teaches you how to handle poison appropriately. He's, like I said, a big man, but he's not fast. You're certainly faster, but he is
Strong.
faster than he seems to be. Right? He's faster than you would expect a man of his size to be.
Yeah.
And you're super weak, so yeah, he is stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. The child is stronger than I am.
Right, exactly. A small one. With asthma. And, no. So, that is a little training vignette for our little bard. Woo!
Woo.
Would anyone like to do anything next? Anyone like to go anywhere? You know. You all will be equally abused.
It's Dark+Sun. That's all that happens.
As they
I can't wait to see what the cactus does. That's my favorite. It's gonna be my favorite part.
The cactus does all kinds of things.
I really want to know what the cactus has to say.
That's right.
You should commune with it sometime.
Oh man, you should make it like the sun tree. Hey man.
I just finished those episodes.
But
All right.
so who wants to go next? Or do something. Anything at all. During these 2 weeks.
I don't know if we worked this out last game, but I did want to buy a tent.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the bedroll.
You need to
I have a
you need
bedroll,
to go to a
but I
place to buy those.
I would like
Yes.
to go to a place to buy a tent.
Okay.
I'd like to
Me
buy
as well,
things.
actually, if we're making a trip of it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I also want a tent in the bedroll.
Okay.
All right. We don't all need tents. And some of you can't carry a tent.
some of me can't carry all the tents.
As we travel, you know, our band is just traveling across the desert, and at the end of our band, you don't see
There's just a pile of
a
tents.
mall.
Yeah,
You
it's
see
just-
a pile of tents moving.
Her Royal Highness's matched luggage.
Exactly. So yeah, so one morning you guys head out to go buy a tent, and some bedrolls. Valdir has some bandages wrapped around his fingers. On this.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, some bags under his eyes. So, where do you guys want to go?
You know, I was passing around the Emporium Square and I saw some elven markets over there. Maybe
That's-
they have some lightweight tents that we can carry.
Possible.
So yeah, just so that you know, I mean, I don't know how to cover up the elven markets, but that's something that happens at night. That's where our friend was just at. It's kind of like the
Oh.
black market.
Ah. Well, they seem to have a lot of, stores that cater to adventuring types, weapons and armor and things like that around there.
Yeah, there would be the most likely places I would think to have tents in the store.
Yeah, looking at the town map, I don't really see any other places that might be carrying a tent.
The Emporium might. It sounds like it has general stuff.
Huh, where do you see that?
Didn't you guys?
Ah, okay.
I was saying that from memory, but I'm pretty sure there's a place called an Emporium somewhere.
There's Emporium Square.
Oh, I see.
And that's where the
Yeah.
elven markets sort of are.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go back to the food emporium. That
Yeah,
dwarf
there's-
there kind of creeped me out.
There's the food emporium.
Me too.
So the Emporium Square and the Elven Markets. The Elven Markets are just a part of the Emporium Square, right? So like
The elven market
Like-
happens, if you will.
it happens there, like at night. Okay, so during the day, all the other things are just like they're just there.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Theoretically, we could also ask where we can find tents.
So are we all like huddled around looking at the map right now?
We don't have a map.
Y'all
There's a
have-
little directory midtown.
We've all hit the M button,
Yeah.
We're all
and
huddled
the game
around.
is paused.
Yeah, we're like drawing on the ground right now
Yeah.
with a stick.
Yeah, you
Same
guys have
stick that
been
we
here.
flip to see who gets the
You
bed.
guys have been here long enough to where you have an idea of where things are. Your best guess for
My-
a place that's a safe bet where it might have something is Pardis Outfitters.
Oh, that makes sense.
Pardis Outfitters might. It's sort of like Urban Outfitters, but horrible.
Wait,
What deserty?
Wait, Urban Outfitters is pretty horrible though.
I was gonna say like.
Yeah, no, it's worse.
So when you add "but horrible" to that,
Look at me.
It's like even worse.
I'm not poor. Alright.
All right. I think we should go to Prada's Outfitters. I believe they have tents.
Aye.
Okay. As you guys make your way to Emporium Square, it's definitely a more bustling kind of area. There are people going back and forth from shops. There's sort of an open market as well where people are selling various objects and exciting knickknacks and occasionally foods are on display. There's sort of, a food cart that of which goes by that has, like whole like newts on a stick, and things of this nature that are very exciting. There's some music that of which is occasionally playing. There's a guy, smacking on the drums. That of which is sort of looking for a couple bits to fill into a small like jar that he has nearby. And whenever someone tosses one in, he kind of plays something a little bit quicker. As sort of a thank you. You guys see walking past an older dwarf kind of just staring at a cactus in front of a sort of desolate building. And as you guys...
There's a nearby place called Karina's, though, right? From what I see on the map.
Yeah. I can tell you what it looks like on the outside. If you ask around, it's a place that of which is sort of similar. It also has things of that nature that you could buy there. Do you think they're probably competing sort of shops?
All right. Well, where do you want to go first? Maybe we could check out the prices at both stores and then see which has the better quality stuff.
Okay, well, we'll start at Karina's because it's closer, I think, to where we are, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it doesn't look so horrible.
The store next to that is Urban Outfitters.
No, there's an Urban Outfitters sign that has another sign on top of it called Karina's.
I see.
No.
I see.
As you approach, the outside of the building is sort of lined with ropes tied to stakes that make a sort of small path that lead towards the front. There's a big, large K that's kind of near the doorway on the side of the building.
I don't know how I feel about this anymore, but we'll check here first.
As they have tents.
Okay. As you guys enter inside, you can see that the shop is largely very organized, and it's clearly designed for people to sort of examine the various wares that of which exist within it, traveling objects and stuff like that. The shop seems to be organized into like different biomes, right? So there's sort of like there's sort of a section that's called like,
the desert section is the largest.
The desert section is very large. Well, but there's also like mountains. There's also like a sort of salt flats. There's a sort of clay badlands sort of area. They're all most of them are just various forms of desert. There's a small section in the back that says like forest.
Where's their water sports area?
It's
God damn it.
It's very
they have a
small.
kayaking in the ceiling.
I cannot
It's
hear
in
water
a
sports.
life jacket.
It's in another game.
Yeah.
It's in another game, yes.
I think of something else when I hear water sports.
I know you do, Joe.
Classic. Classic.
Sorry.
I was waiting for someone to say that.
I didn't.
I wasn't gonna go there.
Wow.
That's what she said.
You didn't want to
I
piss
wasn't-
anyone off.
Was I the
I
only
wasn't-
person?
Oh my
that's not
god,
even
Mike,
considered
shut
that?
up.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't
Something
go there
about all of you
immediately.
today that I did not care to know.
No, I immediately went there. I just wasn't gonna take the group
Listen, I'm not
there.
judging you for that, alright? So, anyway, as you guys enter, there's a rather well-dressed woman that approaches you. She's wearing rather traveler's clothes, but like appear to be very new and well made. She's a little bit on the short side with a sandy blonde hair, that of which is cut very, very short, just a little below below her ears is how long her hair goes. She's got sort of like a harness around her waist, sort of a rope that's coiled up in some capacity. And she looks at you and smiles and says, "Well, hello, y'all. How y'all doing today? Y'all welcome to Karina's. Anything I can give you? Any way I can help y'all out?"
We were looking for tents and bedrolls.
Well, we certainly have plenty of those. Is there any kind of particular you want? Something that's a little more weather resistant? Something that's a little bit larger? How big are we talking about here?
How big can you make it?
I'm about to say, I don't think any of us are particularly large, right? We're all pretty much roughly human size, with the exception of the halfling.
Well, I didn't know if y'all wanted to be sharing a tent or anything like that.
Yes.
You have any tents big enough for 5 of us? Maybe we can all share one together?
Or perhaps just 4.5.
Tasik glares at him.
Well, we don't have anything quite like that on for stock, but it certainly could be made for you if that's something that you would be interested in having.
Oh, how long would that take?
Well, there's a rule of thumb when it comes to business, all right? You can have something made well, you can have something made fast, or you can have something made cheap, but you can't have all three. You only get 2.
Cheap is one of them.
Cheap and fast, ideally.
Cheap is one of the 3.
All right.
Fast is another one, which is also ideal, I feel.
Cheap and fast. Well, we certainly can do that now. Don't you worry one little bit.
Now, if we were to express those values in numbers, however, what would we be looking at?
Well,
I like well and cheap, but whatever.
That certainly is a fine question. And you said for 5 of y'all?
Yes.
4.5.
Don't
Another
be
glare
insensitive.
goes your way immediately.
Well, dear, don't be insensitive.
In theory, one of us would always be keeping watch.
So actually 4 of us.
So 4?
Yes.
It's like if you could
Tasik
take 2
looks
tents
around
and sew them together.
If one of you says 3,
I have a sewing kit.
I'm familiar with this ancient. It's told in stories of a group that once.
And I hear it was real successful. Maybe we just get 2 normal tents.
Right. That certainly is one option. Let me see here. So, a tent in Dark+Sun. Okay. She says, "Well, I could probably make you something on the quick, if that's what you're looking for about 5 ceramic pieces. We can have it done by the end of the week if you want it rushed, if you're willing to pay for 6.
That sounds.
I don't think we're planning on leaving for another couple weeks, isn't that right, Phil? Dear?
Yes. If we were to say make it slower and make it well,
Right.
would that be 2 weeks or?
Well, I have to ask you a couple questions, because well means different things to different people now. Now, do you mean well as in it is resistant to weather, and so that's something that will be sturdy? Like, for example, if you're going up into the mountains or something along those ways. Are you looking for something that of which will hold its weight and have the sand just roll off the sides of it, should you be out into the waste? These are things I need to know, darling, so that I can make you the proper tent.
Something sturdy, certainly. Something that's more resistant to the winds and the sand, because that's the main direction we're going to be heading in.
All right. Well, if it's sand that is your primary concern, that one takes a little work with the framework, but in being that you're looking for something that can hold 4 people, it will take some time. We're looking at maybe... Well...
4.5.
If we're
4.
looking for something that of which is going to take you about 3 weeks, then we can have you something real nice that's going to cost you about... we're looking at 7 ceramics. Now, if you want something that's made a little bit quicker but still pretty sturdy, I can get it to you in about 2 weeks for about 10 ceramics.
I think that sounds reasonable.
I think that's
What do
worth
the
a
rest of you
long-term
think? That's like 2
investment.
ceramics for each of us. That's not
and-
too bad.
Long-term, we'll end up spending that replacing it if we get a crappy one.
Yeah, I
That
like the
being
sound
said-
of that.
If we
Alright.
leave it on a flap though, we're still replacing.
Yeah, it's fucked
so.
forever. It's
Yeah.
it's not resistant.
Just like everything.
It's not resistant to lightning damage.
Yeah, we should have asked for that one. Can we get a well-grounded one?
Right, that's gonna be real expensive.
Oh boy.
Ooh, darling. All right.
What about
I mean, all we have to do is run a
camouflage
piece.
and
Oh,
things like
metal's
that?
rare. Shit.
Yeah, metal's super rare. That's gonna cost.
What
you
about,
$15.
What about a camouflaged outside? Could you do something like that?
Well, it depends. What are you looking to camouflage and what kind of area, my dear?
The desert.
Well, there's a lot of different types of deserts, honey. I understand that you might be a little bit new, being that you're clearly a performer and such, but some deserts, you see, they have high rolling dunes of sand. Some of them are large, wide swaths of clay. Some of them, now, salt flats are a real trick, because the salt flats are just flat, 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 for as far as your eye can see, I tell you right now. They sound a lot like my sister, if I'll be honest with you. Now, the other thing you gotta understand is that there are some mountainous areas that we might be traveling into that are rolling, roughing, like a little bit like myself, if I do admit. So please tell me exactly, what sort of area would you like to be something that is more conforming to?
I don't know, maybe something more general, like something that would fit in a multitude of terrains.
It's like sand. Like, you know,
Like sand and rock colored.
Sand and rock.
all-purpose sand. like really just like sand of varying sizes.
Our next quest takes us to the forest.
That's right.
And our tan tent sticks out like a sore thumb.
That's right.
We fear no predator. Sturdy is all we need.
How about something that looks like a rock from a distance? Do something like that.
It's one of those elven cloaks.
Yeah, exactly.
they get from Lothlorien. How about one of those? Can we get one of those?
What is your magical elfin cloak department look like?
Yeah.
Can we
That-
stitch
that's
that
like-
into a
that's like
Well,
what,
well, it's real
15?
small, and you can have those either expensive, or expensive. And you need at least 2, and probably all 3. No, she doesn't say that because that's ridiculous.
Just the sturdy, fast, well done will be sufficient for us.
All right.
10 ceramic pieces is agreeable.
All right, then. Well, I'm going to go ahead and write that work order up. I'm going to go ahead and bring it on out to make sure that it's up to y'all specifications. And what ends up happening is she ends up coming out, and she has these long...
Check prices.
Hmm?
Wasn't our plan to check prices between 2 places? I mean,
Yes.
it's
Done.
fine.
I love her. I want to give her business.
All right.
Yeah, she's great.
I'm in love. Like,
Yeah, no, Milo's like, yeah, this is our girl.
Yeah.
yeah.
She comes...
I've declared loyalty.
She comes on back out, and she doesn't have anything with her, and she goes, "Come on now, hurry up now, come now." And you see like a couple of guys who are lugging these sort of like framework, making their way through the back. One of them's like runs into a doorway as the other one turns too quickly. God damn it, watch where you're going! No, no swearing in front of the customers now. Now, come on, hurry up now before I end up having to slap you upside the mouth.
She is my mom, and it's like hurting me. Carry on.
They finally bring out these sort of rods, and they position them in various capacities. She says, "Now, is this something that of which is the approximate size that you're looking for?" She shows you something that would fit about 4 people. Not super comfortably, but you know, there would be a degree of comfort. Yeah, it would be better than sleeping outside.
Yeah. Does it look like would I judge that if we were slept inside of there, maybe with bedrolls, that we would not be tired the next day?
I would say yes.
It's perfect.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's perfect.
You know, that's exactly what we're looking for.
Not that we would ever sleep outside.
Right, like
Yeah.
animals.
As
No.
do waste walkers, you know.
Exactly.
Better than that.
And then she says, "All right, now I want y'all to go on back. Now I need y'all to show the customers the material. All right, they're paying good ceramic for this. Now hurry on, come on, chop chop, chop chop." And one of them kind of grumbles. "Boy, I will slap the taste out of your mouth. Go now." And finally, they head on back. And now they come out, each one of them with like a roll of cloth kind of hanging down. And they lug one down onto the ground. Now, don't just throw it on the ground like that. That's expensive materials, more valuable than you are. That's right. And this sort of event happens, and she unrolls several of them. I assume you guys are going to choose like a gray one, since we're going for rock, is the dream.
Well, no.
Like
No.
that strange grayish brownish
I believe that's
color.
called taupe.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to feel the material too. Make sure it's up to snuff.
Because Milo would.
It's pretty thick. It's much thicker than like the clothes and stuff you wear.
Oh, I'm gonna lick it.
Yeah, you stick your tongue out, and she instantly you feel like instantly like a grab on the scruff of like your neck. Now, don't you dare.
Sorry, Miss Karina.
All right now. And she rubs your bald head.
So how wind resistant is this tent anyway?
About 10 ceramic pieces worth.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna get about up to 80 kilometers.
She says it should be able to handle most sort of things. Now, if you find yourself out in some sort of sandstorm, well, then you're going to have a little bit of a tough time depending on the degree of severity that we're talking about there. But I think it's something that should hold up to most windy nights. Now, even if you go up into some pretty high mountains where the wind is a little bit more kicking, you'll find that this is going to be just fine.
Very good.
Knowing our luck, we'll
Perfect.
probably encounter a sandstorm the first night out.
Oh,
We
now
never do that. But
she pinches your cheek. Now, darling, you met me. You're the luckiest fella I know.
it's perfect.
All right.
Let's pay now.
All right.
Let's
Now,
pay her now.
go ahead. No. There's no need for that. You go ahead and you pay me five ceramics, and you get 5 whenever my business is done. Sound fair?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Now, I'm going to make sure that you make a real nice quality tent that y'all are giving now, and I want to make sure that y'all spread the word about what a fine tent y'all got here, all right?
Yes,
Oh, we
Miss
will.
Karina.
All right, great. Y'all have a great day
Oh.
now.
But
I'm sorry, is there something else that you're interested in?
perhaps if you have more wares.
Well, I certainly do. As long as you got more ceramic, that is.
Yes. I kind of pull out my pouch of coins. Yes.
Oh, well, aren't
Yes.
you a wealthy man?
Yeah.
She says, oh, to get one of my daughters to start talking to you. Now tell me, what exactly is it that you're looking for?
Sleeping pads.
Bedrolls. All right, now. And is this going to be for all 5 of y'all?
4.
Okay. So,
I have one already. You're good.
Oh, I see. So you'll be sleeping alone. Well, that's very nice. And y'all want another large one for the other 4 of y'all to sleep in?
Oh.
No.
I think
It does
individually,
get-
probably.
All right. Well, wait. Now, hear me out. It does get cold in the desert at night, though.
Yeah, listen, you might get a bonus. All I'm saying.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
fart in your sleep, man.
I mean, like, so, like,
Yeah, Dennis, you should be ashamed of yourself.
so we can the same way we take turns on watch. We can take turns, like, who gets to be the big spoon and who gets to be the little.
I should feel ashamed of myself. We had a 5-minute conversation about water sports.
Hey, I did not partake.
Anyway. No. Oh, I see. Y'all want individual barrels. Well, that is something that is a lot easier to handle, as we have some of those lying around right now. And she goes on ahead and guides you over to an area where there's just like bedrolls that are rolled up and stacked on top of each other. She says, now, this is something that's sort of a general, it's a very popular item, that of which a lot of people come on by whenever there's a little worn out. Now, it's not the greatest thing in the world. Now, you're not going to be sleeping on some bed full of feathers or anything fancy like that. But this ought to get you through the night nice and toasty.
Does it have dead bugs in it?
It
I was
does.
gonna ask that.
It does not. I know that there are some establishments in this very city that of which do that sort of practice, but I assure you, we do not indulge in such shortcomings for our customers. These are stuffed with a very fine leathers that of which come from lizards and even crocodile that of which we get. Now they are shipped from all over Athens, and we make sure that we have the finest and softest things. I assure you, it may not be velvet, but it's pretty darn nice.
So you replace a carcass with another carcass.
Well, if you like, you can sleep on the sand, honey.
It's not
Oh,
a
looks a
carcass.
little crestfallen. That's like the nicest bed he's slept on. Is the one filled with bugs. It's the only one he slept on.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the cost of your most expensive, nicest bedroll?
Well, my most expensive, if you're looking for something that's a little bit fancier, this actually does have a feather or two in it, though it does have a good degree of feathers it does have a degree of leathers that of which are being used in there. If you're looking for something that of which is a little bit on the fancy end, like a gentleman such as yourself, we could have something right now that of which you can get for 5 ceramic pieces, that of which is going to give you quite cozy. Anything more than that, and we could have made custom, of course. But that's something that we don't just keep on hand.
Is it filled with quill feathers?
I do not know what I don't know what this kind of creature is, a quill.